What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and we are here at my favorite shooting location. It's bright and sunny up here, which is weird because it's like really cloudy and foggy towards the coast, which is like off campus more where I live. I'm gonna do a video for you guys today. As you guys know from the title, I'm gonna be doing a top 5 modifications list that you guys should do to your S550s when you first get it. So these are like general modifications, these are like beginner mods, not super expensive, so they're relatively affordable. And I'm only doing this because I've gotten so many messages over the past probably like 6 or 7 months, whether it's through Instagram or YouTube, whatever platform. I have a bunch of people asking what are some of the first modifications I should do to my S550, or once they get the car, what are some mods that I should look out for and purchase when I get the car. So today, that is what we're here for today. This is just my opinion. This is not exactly what you guys should do. This is just my 2 cents on it and what I think you guys should do for the first modifications on an S550. Now, with that being said, it's not like I've done all those mods myself. I've done a couple of them and have taken them off. I have redone a couple modifications on my car, but I'm just going to give you guys a list of what I think and what I'm working towards on my particular S550. But a couple of them I do have on the car already, so we'll go over that and I'll tell you guys what I have on the car. Also, for all the parts that I'm going to be listing, I'll throw up little like images and PNGs for you guys to see, as well as link the parts in the description below. This is not a sponsored video, nor are these the only parts you can get from the only companies. There's a bunch of companies out there that sell a million parts, so these are just some of my suggestions on what you guys could look for the parts that I'm listing off. And you guys can still go through the links and check out all the parts on the websites I'm going to list. They're like pretty big websites for Mustangs, S550s, anything like that, so you guys can find a lot of other parts in there for your guys' cars. Parts are pretty general. There's something you can do to any car. It doesn't have to be an S550, but the first one I'm going to throw at you guys is definitely get yourself an exhaust system. As good as the S550 is stock, and as good as it sounds, it definitely can be opened up a lot more, whether that's a catback exhaust system or even an axle back. Axle backs will be a little bit more affordable. You don't get that 3-inch all the way back, but you do get the sound, which is, you know, for the most part, better, just because even with the catback, you're not going to be getting that much more horsepower. And if you want to match it up to like an X pipe or an H pipe, those aren't too expensive as well. And that'll get rid of your resonator as well as some aftermarket mufflers. So that's going to be the first modification for your S550 that I think you guys should get. Now, the second modification that I think you guys should do, and this is something that also comes stock on the Mustang that is just unbearable and needs to be fixed, is the cars come so high off the ground. I would recommend doing a set of lowering springs if you guys aren't trying to invest in a set of coilovers or air suspension. A set of lowering springs will definitely do you justice. IBOC lowering springs, or what I have on my car, are the Steeda Linear Extremes. They're the lowest spring that I've found out there, at least for the S550s, is the Steeda Extremes. Lowers it about 2 inches, whereas the IBOC lowered about 1.5 inches. So I definitely recommend getting a set of lowering springs. It just makes the car look a lot more aggressive, and it upgrades your handling and suspension just that little bit. So as you guys can see, paired up with the 20-inch wheels, the fitment's pretty well in the front. In the back it could be a little bit lower, but that can be fixed with a bigger tire or possibly coilovers in the future. But for now, I think the car looks pretty good with the lowering springs that are on it. So that is going to be modification number 2. The third modification, this is definitely not a must, nor is really any of these modifications a must. We're going to go ahead and step inside the Mustang here. I think a shift knob is definitely something that you guys might want to get as a modification when you first get the car. The original S550 shift knob is like a leather one with a little metal top. Not saying you should get this Ford Racing one. There's a couple other out there that are really good, as well as the GT350 one that you guys can swap over. But I definitely think a shift knob is going to give you a little bit better of a feel in the car. Aesthetically, it looks nice versus, you know, they make aftermarket steering wheels, but they're pretty pricey. So these are trying to be affordable mods. You can get a shift knob for about $60–70, and it definitely gives you a little bit more of a better feel in the car, as well as look better aesthetically versus the leather one, which isn't very race inspired. But I just got a simple black one here, Ford Racing. Pretty simple, but it's definitely a nice feel when you're in the car. Now for the fourth mod, what I would recommend doing, and this is generally for the 15 through the 17s, because I'm pretty sure the 18s come with Bridgestone. I'm not sure exactly which Bridgestone tires, but the 15 through the 17 S550s come with Pirelli P0s. Even though this Mustang has Pirellis on the car, I just had to do that in the meantime for the wheels. I would definitely recommend upgrading to a better tire from the P0s. Even though they're Pirelli, they are a good tire. They're just a little soft. They wear through a lot, and They're not the best on traction, so I definitely recommend picking up a set of tires once you burn through the Pirellis, just because you're gonna get a little bit more life out of something else and a definitely better performing tire. That's gonna run you a little bit more expensive than these other mods, but it's definitely something that you'll notice when you're driving the car. And tires are what connect you from the road to the steering wheel, so it's definitely something I would invest in and get a little bit better of a higher end tire. As for me, I have the P0s on the car right now, which is super contradicting, but I will be upgrading in the future once these burn through, just because I had to find a set of tires for these wheels to throw in the car for the whole sponsorship video. So that's what I'm doing for right now, but they will definitely be switched out here shortly. And for the fifth and final mod, this one's going to be a little controversial, especially the way you do it, but a lot of people tend to go for a grille delete or at least a badge delete in the front. I went ahead and did a grille delete. I fully just dremeled out both the top and the bottom grills. I left the corners alone, but this is going to open up the front end and get a little bit more air into the front end. What I would recommend doing is putting a mesh screen here. As you guys can see, it's fully open in my car, which leaves a couple of things in the engine bay exposed, which is not very good if there's rocks or anything flying at it. But this is a cheap mod that you can do. Dremel, I'm sure you could find one or have a friend let you borrow one. If you can't, you could probably rent one from AutoZone as well, and go ahead and do a little grille delete on your own. That'll get rid of the front badge as well as open it up a little bit for some performance. But that is going to be the fifth and final mod for the cheap beginner mods that you should do to your S550s, at least in my opinion on my car. Just a little bonus mod before I go. It's really hard for you guys to get an example of what I'm talking about, but when the GT badge is here and when the 5.0 badges are there, and if you don't do the grille delete, the pony in the front, I would recommend just doing a black badge setup on your car, whether you do the painted gloss black 5.0s or you just dip them, tape them off, and then when you plasti dip them, usually when you peel the masking tape around them, it usually pulls around the edges and gives you guys a clean look on the badges. That's just because I think that the chrome is a little tacky. Doing it gloss black or just blacking them out in general will definitely make the car look a little bit more aggressive. Whether your car is a dark color or a light color, doesn't matter. I think it looks a little bit better than what comes stock. But if you guys like the chrome, then just go ahead and keep it. But I think blacking out the badges will make the car look just a little bit more aggressive. And with that being said, before the camera dies, I know this was somewhat of a short video, but I wanted to get something out there for you guys. And this is my take on like beginner first modifications that are somewhat cheap that you guys can do to your S550s. Just for that younger, I would say, audience out there that's looking to do something to their S550s, or if they're planning on getting in the car, what can they look forward to doing that will not break the bank and that you can still do to your car to make it look significantly better than how it comes from stock. Granted, these cars look really good out of the factory. They perform well, they look great, but obviously you can, customize it, make it a little bit of your own. And that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Be sure to follow me at jordan.d.harris, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.